All right, hello, hello. Everyone that's tuned in from home, thank you so much. My name is David, and I am with San Mateo County Libraries. Welcome to Summer STEAM Camp. We are going to be focusing on something brand new. We're going to take the T out of STEAM and focus on technology today. We are going to be spending some time doing 3D modeling. Just a quick segment on 3D modeling and 3D printing. This is something that I 3D printed not too long ago for San Mateo County Libraries. It's a face shield. So we made face shields for those that are working on the front lines to protect themselves. And as you can see here, this portion has been 3D printed. It's a 3D visor. And underneath the visor, you insert the plastic face shield. So this looks kind of cloudy, but there is some protective film that you can peel off to make the visor nice and clear. So question for all my campers today. Raise your hand if you have ever 3D printed before. All right. Okay, I see 1, 2. Very cool. And I'd like to ask you all and shout it out super loud so I can hear. Where have you 3D printed at? Whoa, what's that? Foster City Library? The Belmont Library? East Palo Alto Library? So cool. Yeah, our libraries do have 3D printers. And when we're able to go back into our libraries and 3D print, you're going to be able to take the 3D models that we're going to learn how to do and print them out. This is what we're going to be working on today. Let's see if I can get it. There you go. It's a name tag. So we're going to be using a really cool software that's completely free to use for educational purposes. It's called Tinkercad, and we're going to learn how to 3D model and make our own name tag. Sometimes when you're in school, your teachers ask you to make a name tag. So that's kind of where the idea came from. As we're going to spend the next couple of weeks together, let's make a name tag for our class and have a really good time. Okay. So also I'm going to ask a question. Raise your hand if you have heard of Tinkercad before. Okay, I see you over there, yourself, couple people. Very awesome. Everyone, doesn't matter if you've learned Tinkercad or not, we're going to take some small steps into learning Tinkercad today. Let me start sharing my screen with you all. Okay, so for those who are brand new to Tinkercad, let's learn about it. All right, so 3D modeling with Tinkercad. All right, so anyone can use Tinkercad as long as you're connected to the internet. The way you're going to access it is either on your computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop. You're going to have your parents help you go to tinkercad.com. So parents, if you're tuning in alongside, please do help your children create an account with Tinkercad. It's completely free to do. And if your parents let you use the computer to surf around, this should be pretty easy for you because you already have a lot of the working knowledge needed to operate the keyboard and the mouse, which we'll be using today in Tinkercad. Also, for any children out there that have an iPad and or an iPhone, if your parents let you use their iPhone, there is the Tinkercad app, completely free, that you can install Tinkercad on, and you could use the touchscreen to build things up, stretch things out, glue things together. It's gonna be really, really cool. So our goals, there's not many, but they are important. First thing, who could read the first goal for me? Someone said it, I heard it. You're right, have fun. Second goal is we want to learn how to use the 3D modeling software Tinkercad. Okay, and the third, it's slightly complex, but it makes a lot of sense to me, so I had to put it in there. So we're going to use technology and our imaginations and our creativity collaboratively. And when you combine those three elements, a lot of really, really special solutions will arise. And you're going to see that when it comes to us designing in Tinkercad. Okay, so benefits, you're going to learn these great new engineering skills that you can take with you along the road of life and apply it when needed. It's going to be such a cool skill. You're going to want to probably share it with friends and family. You can talk to them about this new cool website you're getting to use in order to build your own 3D models. And eventually, you're going to be able to take the models that you create today and in the future during our 3D modeling sessions and be able to print them at the library completely for free, just like the name tag that we're working on. Okay, so what you're gonna need is pen, a paper, and this is gonna be optional for today. You can draw your name tag out. You don't have to, but you can if you're a visual learner and it helps you kind of draw out the name tag. And then, and of course, to use Tinkercad, you're gonna wanna have either a computer or an Apple smart device. So with that being said, you can pause the video right here and go ahead and grab your items. I don't think I'm going to be using a pen and paper today, but if you want to draw it again, you can. It helps some people out. All right. Okay, so here's an example of the name tag that I created in Tinkercad. It's a pretty simple design. There's just a few steps that are needed to create it, and you'll be able to kind of emulate what you're seeing here on my screen. So we are going to use Tinkercad to make the name tag. We're going to learn some really basic Tinkercad parameters. And the two Tinkercad tools we're going to focus on today are the tools that allow us to resize our shapes and the tool that allows us to group items together. This should be pretty self-explanatory, and with some repetition, I think you'll be able to get this down. So with that being said, I'm gonna escape out of my presentation and we're gonna take a field trip over to Tinkercad. So at this time, if you're not at Tinkercad yet, you can pause the video and you can ask mom or dad to help you get to Tinkercad because you're gonna need to create an account. All right. Okay, so if you're getting to Tinkercad on a computer, you're gonna go to tinkercad.com. It's pretty simple to spell out and you can see it on the screen here. If you are going to be using Tinkercad on the Apple iPhone or Apple iPad, you'll go to the App Store and type in Tinkercad and have your parents help you download it. All right, so from here, if it's your first time using Tinkercad, you can click on Join Now. I'll have a mouse on the screen with a little red laser dot so you can see what I'm pointing at. Once you create your own account with your parents' help, then you're ready to open up Tinkercad. And when you log in with your account credentials, you're going to be taken to your own homepage. One really fun thing about Tinkercad is it saves all the projects that you make. You have a project history. So if you want to update something that you've worked on in the past, it is right here and easy for you to find. So now that everyone has Tinkercad loaded, the first thing we're going to do, and you're logged in of course, the first thing we're going to do is I want us all to click on Create New Design. If you're using an iPad or iPhone, you could use your finger and just tap on Create New Design. If you're using a computer, the left button on your mouse, you're going to move the mouse right over to Create New Design and push that left button down. All right, and that's going to open up our workspace. So in the workspace, we have a work plane, which is this blue square that we're going to use to build all our 3D models on, including our name tag. Okay, so some of the things to consider when starting out. Tinkercad, whenever you make a new session, always gives a random name to your session. It's a good practice to name everything, just the same way as you'd name a homework assignment. So for this assignment, we're going to name it name tag. If you can't spell name tag, that's okay. You can use the letters NT to abbreviate name tag. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the name it's giving it. You can see I'm circling it right above the screen. And you're going to click on that. With the iPad or iPhone, you're going to just touch it. With the computer, you're going to use the left button of the mouse to click to allow you to edit that. So I'm going to make it nice and simple, and I'm just going to use the letters NT to abbreviate name tag. Once you're done with that, you can hit the enter button, or you can click in the work plane area, and that will keep the change that you've made. All right, so here's a question for you all that involves measurement. I'm assuming some of you may be in first grade, second grade, or even third grade. Raise your hand if you've used a ruler before. I see a couple of students. Perfect. Now, on the ruler, what kind of measurement do we usually use? It starts with a letter I. That's your hint. Can I hear you all yell it out? I heard someone yell it. I heard inches. Inches is correct. So we understand how to use inches here in the United States. If you're learning that in school or you haven't got there yet, that's totally okay. But one thing we need to tell Tinkercad is that we want to use inches as our measurement. So in order to do that, follow my laser beam on screen. Does everyone see where it says Edit Grid? If you do, with your mouse, I want you to click on it with the left button, or with the iPad, go ahead and touch on Edit Grid. And Tinkercad always starts in millimeters, but we're gonna click on this little arrow here and select inches by clicking on inches. Once you click inches, I want you all to click Update Grid. Nice job. All right, so who notices a difference here on the work plane? Oh, I heard someone say it. Yeah, the boxes look bigger. That's because they're now reflecting in inches. So each individual box in here is an inch wide, an inch in length. So a fun question for you all. Can someone tell me in inches how wide our work plane is? Think about it. Think about it. Oh, I heard it. Someone said it. If you did say 8 inches, you're actually right. Nice job. Okay, who can tell me the length? I heard that too. Someone said 8 inches. So we have 8 inches in width, 8 inches in length. We can just count the boxes here. We get a total of 8. All right, so now let's talk about the other menus inside the workspace area. So as we look over here, follow my laser pointer. As we look over here, we have our shape menu. And these are all different shapes that we can take and transfer to the work plane to build with. So the first thing I want you to try to do, if you're on the iPad or iPhone, I want you to touch the box, the red box, and hold it and drag it to the work plane. If you're using a computer that has a mouse, hold the left button down, don't let go of the left button, and move your index finger to drag it into the work plane. From there, our box is now in the work plane and we're ready to edit it. So all these little white boxes that surround our box allow you to stretch out or manipulate the box. So if I were to click on, with the left button, if I were to click on this little box right here, I could make my square into a rectangle. I can make it wider. And look right here at the bottom, I have measurements. So it's telling me it's the rectangle is now 3 1/8 of an inch long, and the depth of it, or the length, is an inch. So what's cool is, here's another cool trick. You can rotate your view. If you want to see the other side of the box, follow my laser pointer. Up here at the top, you can click on this cube, and it allows you to rotate. And it also tells you what side you're looking at. So here I can see I'm looking at the right side. If I want to look at the back, click on back, and now I'm looking at the back side. If you're on the iPad or iPhone, if you open up your fingers using two fingers, if you open them up, that should allow you to zoom in. If you close them together, that should allow you to zoom out. If you're on the computer, you have a plus and minus side that allows you to zoom in. So you can get a closer look at what you're looking at, the rectangle that we're looking at. And you can move the box to look on top or move back. Okay, so with that being said, when it comes to making our name tag, we need to take this rectangle that we have, and we need to decrease or make the height smaller. It's too tall right now. If I'm looking at the name tag that I made, it's super thin. I'm not sure if you all can see that, but it's very, very thin. So what I'm gonna do, when I click on my shape, I can click this top white box, and I could click down and drag the height to lower it down to 1/4 of an inch. So I want you all to hit pause and try to decrease the height by dragging it down. I'll show it to you one more time. So I'm going to click the top white box and lower that down until I see 1/4 listed. That's 1/4 of an inch. All right, give that a try. Nice job, everyone. Okay, so it looks like most of us are done. So the next thing we're going to do, and I'm just going to move this over, is let's take a look at how wide our rectangle is. So if you click on this little square here, we're seeing that our rectangle is about 3 inches wide, 3 1/8. If your rectangle is between 3 and 4 inches, that's okay. A lot of your work is done for the base. Now we need to move on to adding the letters or adding text. And that can be done. We're going to transfer our focus from the workspace to the basic shapes menu. So let's follow my laser pointer. Here we go. As I move down in this menu of shapes, there's a little bar that allows you to slide up and down to see the different shapes available. As I move down, you can see that we have a text generator here. And I want you all to click on the text generator and drag it into the workspace. Go ahead and give that a try. I'll do that as well. I'm going to click and drag. And there is my text. Now we may be looking at it from the back side since my view is telling me I'm looking at the back. So I'm going to rotate to the front. Now I can clearly see my text. But I have one problem here. My name isn't text, my name is David. So let's learn how to change the text to say our name. Okay, so if I'm looking, when I click on text, I should have a menu that appears. So if I'm not clicked on text, I'm not going to see any kind of menu. But when I click on text, I have my text generator menu. And in this field that says text, I can type in my name. So go ahead and give that a try, everyone. Type in your name. I'm going to type in David. And if you need your parents to help you out with this, you can ask them. Or if you have an older brother, older sister, or a friend that's there that can help you, and you're just having a hard time, it doesn't hurt to ask. And I must say, nothing that you learn is going to be perfect the first time. That's very, very rare. Mistakes are totally okay. Accidents are okay because you get to learn through them. You get to learn from these mistakes. And moving forward, it's going to be so much easier for you to use Tinkercad because when you learn from those mistakes, you know how to fix things when problems occur. Okay, so now I have David. I'm going to try to move this onto the base because if we're looking right here at the name tag I made, David is laying down on the base. So I want to do that. So I'm just going to click on David and drag it on top of the rectangle. All right, the first thing here, I'm having a hard time reading David because David is listed in red and my base is in red. So if I want to change the color of my name, I can move to the shape generator menu and click on solid and then click on a different color. It brings up a color palette. So I'll just click green. That is a lot easier to see my name. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take my name and make it much smaller so it fits. So I'm just going to click on David so we can see all the white boxes that surround it. And from here, I'm going to go to the top corner and just drag it so David becomes smaller. I'm going to keep dragging. And you all could do this too. So in Tinkercad, go ahead and click on that top white box in the corner, the left top corner, right top corner of your name, and make it smaller so it fits on your base. Everyone's doing a good job. Don't get frustrated if you're having a hard time doing this. Again, you're going to get better with time and practice, just the same way you learned math, or just the same way you learned some of the other tasks that you've been doing in summer STEAM camp. Okay, so now this is looking pretty good. I have David. It fits on my rectangle. I'm super happy. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to glue them or group them together. Since they are on top of each other, they are kind of together or in unison right now. But if I move something on accident, like let's say I clicked on David and I move my mouse, the name David is going to move away from the base. And we want things to move together and be joined together. So to do that, what we're going to do, if you're on the iPhone or iPad, you're going to click on both David or your name. You're going to click on your name and then the base to highlight both. If you're using a computer, you're going to click on your name and you're going to hold the shift button down. It's on the left-hand side of the keyboard. It's the word shift, S-H-I-F-T. You're going to hold shift and then click on the base at the same time. And just like that, you've selected both your name and the base. Now we're going to move up to the top of the screen to our group menu. Just right here. It looks like a square and a circle. You're going to click on group, and just like that, that glues everything together, and your name tag is done. I bet a lot of you are wondering, why did the base change colors? I liked it better when it was a two-tone color. If you're not happy with the new color it creates, when you group together, you can go back to the menu here and click on where it's green. Click on multicolor. And just like that, brings you back to the way your name tag was. One last cool trick I want to teach you for today. And I want to give you a round of applause because you used brand new technology to make a name tag. One last cool trick in Tinkercad I want to show you before I have a cool announcement to make is how to delete something. So let's pretend I brought in a shape from the basic shapes menu that I don't want. On my keyboard, I can hit the delete button, or if you're on the iPhone or iPad, you should see a trash can when you tap on the object, and that removes it. Just like that, it's gone. Okay, so I promised a really cool announcement, and I bet a lot of you have been hearing about our Summer Learning Challenge, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So reading is really, really important. While you're away from school on summer vacation, you have all the time in the world to read the greatest books, all the books that you can find. And the library wants to encourage you all to read with our 2020 Summer Learning Challenge. So parents, if you're joined in, or older brothers or sisters, you can go to summerlearners.org to show your family about our great Summer Learning Challenge. And we will be putting grab bags on our curbside tables outside of our libraries for you to come by and get a free book. If you complete the Summer Learning Challenge, there's a form that you're going to fill out. You have a chance to win a $1,000 college scholarship. That's going to help you tremendously when you get to college in a few years. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I've been David. This has been super fun, and I look forward to seeing you all in another session on 3D modeling. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.